453 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Caitlin.
I went and talked to neighbors, and every single one of them, every single one, welcomed me. And if they had video surveillance, they gave it to me. The only person that would not talk to me, as the only person that had something to hide and wouldn't talk to me. You know, she has a son that's hiding and waiting for somebody in the dark, late at night on the 25th. And there needs to be some explaining for that. I'll just leave it at that.
That we are going to keep searching, we are going to keep looking, we are going to find him, and we are going to bring him home.
Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said
no evidentiary value?
It is of no evidentiary value. It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
Yeah, I'm working on behalf of Sebastian. I am not, my client is Sebastian, and they're the guardians that have the ability to sign.
It just started. Hi Dad, I know this is gonna sound weird, but tomorrow's picture day. So could you send some decent clothes over to me so that I can wear the decent clothes and be handsome for my birthday with all decent clothes? Mom!
Because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
Oh, hold on, guys. Oh, I just realized something. Shoot. There I am. Hey, all right. Got that working. Okay, I knew I forgot something. Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know how I sound in chat. Camera doesn't look centered. That's okay. We'll worry about that later. Let's see here. Just make sure chat is working. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. That is smooth. Perfect. All right. Welcome, everybody. Okay. So I put out a video earlier. It's of the... Well, I'll play a little bit, but of course it's that interview with the PI Heather Cohen and Katie and Chris. I finally got that all cleared up the best I could. But today's video, man, just before I went to sleep, as you guys know, I've studied this 3M Lights video more than I can count. And I don't know, there was now that we've been kind of looking at another scenario that maybe he didn't make it home. Again, I still think both scenarios are viable, you know, that he made it home and then was possibly abducted or moved. But, you know, definitely never want to get tunnel vision and get stuck on one theory, especially, you know, if the other theory could hold more weight. And the more we've been kind of looking into this other scenario that, you know, somewhere between Texas Roadhouse and getting back home, he was somehow moved. And, yeah, I'm starting to lean more towards that scenario. And now kind of looking at the 3M video again, just kind of going back, there's something that kind of hit me, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, this kind of adds more weight to it. Oh, did you send pictures, Little Red? I got a couple of emails from people. I think I did. I'll let me write your name down, and I'll when when I find a minute, I'll pull up my email and then I'll look, because I know I got a couple of emails, like 3 or 4, like back to back. So, but anyway, yes, please hit that like button. I'm sorry I started a little late. I don't know if you guys remember, the last time I went live, we were talking about kind of responding to that whole burner phone issue and that guy Nerdy Addict. Now again, I don't know a lot about Nerdy Addict. Usually I see him a lot on Twitter. I just remember, following him way back. I'm pretty sure when Guy Petito case. Anyway, long story short, he went out to Tennessee. He went out there to the neighborhood and did his thing, and apparently talked to the Proud Feet, or Chris anyway. And he's the one that, put a couple of tweets out. This is one of them, saying that, that it's confirmed that Sebastian Rogers liked to hide beneath the neighbor's vehicle playing flashlight tag. I don't know about the flashlight tag part, but I mean, as a teenager, I could see him hiding behind vehicles, but not sure about, if there was kids he was actually playing with. I've never heard of that. Not saying it's not true, but and then he also was the one that posted the whole burner phone, saying that, there was a suspicious call, but they didn't give out a date or anything. It was just a call to a alleged burner phone or a burner app. But Seth says, he has 2 phones, but he doesn't have a burner phone, because obviously a burner phone, you use it and you get rid of it. That's what makes it a burner phone. So anyway, long story short, on this end of things, before we get into the main part of the meat and potatoes, is apparently earlier today, he was going to have Crispy and I think Crabtree on. And here is his tweet. I pushed the Sebastian live stream to tomorrow. So I guess this was posted yesterday, because he was supposed to have his live stream today. And that's why I went late. So I do apologize. But apparently he started a live and he couldn't get his audio to work. So I don't know what's going on. But here, I'll read it. I confirmed it twice now. And I now feel completely disrespected. I blocked Sebastian's stepfather, aka Crispy, and with that, everything he asked me to keep off record will now be disclosed. I'm a content creator focused on helping finding the missing, not an investigative journalist. I have no duty to keep anything off the record. So I was really curious about, because he's seemed like he was kind of on their side. And then now, him posting this, I'm like, ooh, what happened? So I don't know. Apparently he is allegedly trying to restart his stream as we speak. I don't know, but I am curious about, what did Crispy not want him to, wanted him to keep off the record that they disclosed, what happened to transparency and bringing the truth, right? So, be curious. Hopefully, if he does do the live tonight, I'll, record it and, see what happens. But, yeah, both Crispy and Crabtree were supposed to come on his live, and I don't know exactly what happened. I don't want to, but just going off the tweet, apparently something went wrong, and really curious, Did he go out there and then things were not adding up? And, I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but kind of curious. Yeah, do tell. I want to hear. Yeah. I'm a little curious about that. All right. Leslie, Billy, thank you so much. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Starting to get that fall weather. I do like the rain and thunderstorms. It is calming. But thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. God bless you. All right. So, let's see. Okay, got to shout out our Silvers on the scene as always. Good man. I mean, there's so many people. Of course, Sheila and Fred as well, who we just showed there. These people have just gone out and have been searching for Sebastian. And I know there's others as well. I wish I could shout them all out. But let's see where to start. Okay. So, as you can see, I have a poll up there that I'm running right now about who you guys think, in a scenario, let's say if one of these subjects is Katie, who would be the other subject? Is it Crispy? Is it extended family member? Maybe the neighbor, Mr. Carr, or maybe someone else? Right now we got 64% think it's Crispy. But I do have something foul-natured Crispy stink feet sounds like some foul-natured hobbit. That's hilarious. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Where is Silver? It's a good question. I know I'm sure he'll pop up. So anyway, before we get into the meat and potatoes, I just want to play a couple of things because I had to work on this audio for the last 3 days. I actually kind of ended up erasing half of my work, and so I had to redo half of it. So I've listened to this interview a shit ton, and I really would love for Deception Detective to break this down. I'm sure he could make this into 2 or 3 videos. I would love to get his insights. I really hope. I'm going to try to reach out and see if maybe he'd be interested. And I know we played it a couple times. I just want to point out a few things because I've listened to this so many times because I had to, fix the audio a bit on it and enhance it. But there's a few main things that I want to point out. I mean, there's so much, obviously it's 12 minutes, but just some of the main things that I've caught of this, and then we'll get into some scenarios. So thank you. I almost have 500 already.
And what he knows.
Please, if you can, hit that like button. This is for anybody that doesn't know. I posted this on my YouTube channel just as a regular video earlier today. I'm not going to play the entire thing because obviously it's there if you want to watch it. But I got the subtitles, about 90% worth, and who's speaking and whatnot. And if you don't know, this is, I believe, late March, April of 2024. This is when Seth had hired, I think, one of the first PIs, Heather, and she called up, Chris and Katie Proudfoot to get, their side of the story, their timeline, right? You'd think it'd be pretty straightforward, but it was like pulling teeth. And here's just a few minutes of this.
Out to be right.
I'm not asking you to tell me what's right. I'm asking you to tell me what you actually know.
And the whole thing that of course, again, we're not going to play this entire thing on this live because, you can go check it out on the channel if you haven't heard the entire thing. But it's so odd. They're so focused on what Seth knows. It's so weird because, again, Seth was at work. Sebastian Rogers went missing under their roof, under Katie's roof. But yet they're worried about what Seth may or may not know. It is so weird. And of course, when I posted this earlier, everybody, like half the comments are like, why are they so worried about what Seth, knows? She's just trying to get the timeline from them, just trying to put the pieces together, right? It's crazy.
About the situation.
Should have set you down and should have told you from start to finish where he's at and what he knows, right?
Where he's at and what he knows?
No. He should have set you down and told you every single thing from day one to where we are at now.
Now, again, think about that. how much information would he really know, right? Because he was at work. He can only go off the interviews that we've listened to, that are with the that they did, either on YouTube or, on the local news or whatever. And then obviously whatever maybe they spoke about, when he was there. But again, this is her trying to get the timeline from them, their story, their version. But yet here's Crispy already inserting and that he wants to know what, you should have already gotten what Seth wants. We want to know what Seth, knows. But again, like, how is that going to help find Sebastian, right? He was at work. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, I've gotten most of my information from, I know that, I know about y'all going to BJ's. I know about y'all going to Strike and Spare, and I know y'all picked up Melissa's daughter.
And I think she's really just, probably half of this stuff that she's getting is, like I said, from like the Dutch's interview and maybe Smiley's and whatnot. So moving forward, somebody noticed, and man, I wanted to kind of cut it short, but somebody noticed when I posted this earlier. This is why I wanted to get this out so people could, more examine it thoroughly and catch things. Because obviously, more eyes, ears, the better. And somebody pointed out, it sounds like that, Katie and Chris at times put like their thing on mute. And holy shit, I wish, because, it's YouTube, I didn't want to have huge gaps because there are some gaps in there where there's dead air. And I didn't even really think about them possibly putting it on mute, speaking with each other, trying to make sure they get their story straight. And there's a couple of points, and now it kind of makes you want to I wish I hadn't cut some of these parts short, where it does seem like they do put their thing on mute.
And then
oops.
I don't have, neither one of us have an idea.
Yeah.
All we can tell you.
So, one more thing, two more things. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So at the end here,
fucking said.
Okay. There was something I was going to ask you.
Okay. So this is, she gets towards the end here. I'll read chat here in just a second after I finish this part. See what you guys, because I know some of you guys probably listened to this earlier. But here, this is so ridiculous right here. So she's going to ask, like, what do you guys think, right? And then they're going to call Seth stupid and all these words. And I want you to listen to the hypocrisy right here.
Okay, so I did want to go back to where you had said that you didn't think he ran away and that he ran away. So what do you think?
I don't have, neither one of us have an idea.
Yeah.
All we can tell you is, like, that's why I asked you what you exactly know of this case, what Seth has told you.
So right there, she's trying to ask, like, what are your theories, right? It's been over at least a month. You guys got to have some kind of theory or idea, right? In the two cases I've worked with parents, they've got a lot of different theories, especially when it came to Dylan Rounds, where, that was a homicide, and it was very, very mysterious in the first few months. For quite a while, but, slowly pieces started coming together, but, so they're always, and they love, like, I wouldn't say love, but they're always trying to, like, bounce theories around. But yep, here they shut that down, and then they want to know what Seth knows. Again, Seth was at work.
Makes it easier for us to fill in the blanks.
It makes them easier to fill in the blanks. How? Like, how is that? How is that going to help them if Seth is not even there? And then here comes the most hypocrisy part of it all. I mean, it's all just nuts, but this is where it makes me so upset.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Right there. Katie says, because it doesn't make sense, referring to whatever happened to Sebastian. Her own words, because it doesn't make sense. Now listen to what happens right after that. So that's Katie saying it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because your client has an idea in his head, and that is his narrative, and that's what he is painting.
Oh.
So I just need to know what's being said, and I'll fill you in.
Well, the thing is about Seth that I don't think he's kind of just back and forth about things, you know.
And see, that's where he's stupid and he's wrong.
Well,
did you just hear that? Because he's stupid and he's wrong. She just literally paraphrased that Seth is kind of, basically saying the same thing. Like, it doesn't make sense to him. Just what Katie just said literally less than a minute ago. But Seth is an idiot and stupid because he's back and forth. It's so hypocrisy, it's just so stupid.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know if he was lured. He doesn't know if something happened in the house. I just have to say that or if, and he doesn't know if he ran away. Like he doesn't know.
Well, see here, let me help you something. If something happened in the house, that should never be a statement that comes out of your mouth or his fucking mouth for that matter. Because quite honestly, law enforcement has already vetted all that shit. And there's nothing. There's no reason to insinuate, no reason to make that comment.
So what happens if they find Sebastian? And I hope this is never a scenario, but you got to look at all possibilities. What if they find Sebastian's body? And he's got, blunt force trauma to his skull, right? Well, now, obviously now it's foul play. So now they may now have to go, obviously the last place he was at was under Katie's roof. So to say that, it's vetted and there's nothing to look at their home. Well, if they find his body and there's foul play, no, it is not cleared.
Well, I'm just being transparent with you because
you're being frank, but I'm being extremely frank with you.
Oh God, yeah. He's got the bigger Frank.
If there was something in there that they think had an issue, they would have already have gone down that route.
No, because they need to find, obviously the house was super clean when Seth arrived. And, I think he's already mentioned, and it's been rumored that, it smelled like cleaning supplies. That's just say rumor. I can't remember if he's officially said that or not. I know he said it was super clean. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
What appears to be her putting in. So let me pause this, and now we'll quickly recap the scenario that he may not have made at home. Again, like I said, I'm kind of like 60-40 with the two scenarios. Stacy, thank you so much. Hi, Chris. Thank you for working so hard on Sebastian. I appreciate that. I promise you, I've got something I think is exciting. I think it may, I know a lot of people may think it's Crispy that's working the flashlights, and I could see it. But I have a different scenario that may have taken place with the two subjects. And I think it's very interesting to at least, bring it up and present it to you guys and let you, see what you guys think. Especially if we're going down, I guess we call it scenario B. He didn't make it home. And yeah. Valerie says, I do believe the lights are related to this. Is there any footage of anyone leaving that home? Sebastian is not seen, but what about subject 1 and 2? Is there any footage of anyone leaving that home? Once Katie gets back, there's a subject. Well, we're going to cover it right here. Basically, your questions, and they're great questions, we are going to get into. So those are great questions. And yeah, basically, that is what we are going to cover. So for sure. Yeah, he is. He's fishing, which it's so ass backwards, right? What? How is Seth really going to help? He wasn't there, right? But if they were innocent, and they're, obviously your memory is not going to get better over time. So I think it's good to get those, those details and timelines, and because who knows what you may forget over time. But yeah, it's so ass backwards. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Yeah. Oh my God. I appreciate that, Michelle. I did spend a lot of time. I don't like to toot my own horn, but yeah, cause gosh darn it, man. I wanted to have something for my members and Patreons first, but I accidentally saved over that file. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, I'm so upset. Yeah, so I had to redo half of it again. But yeah, I mean, I love Josh from the lab, but oh my God, yeah. Some kind of earpiece. Okay, so just before we get into the subjects, for anybody that may have missed the last few live shows where we're kind of looking at a different scenario, and there's a lot of evidence to kind of support this. We call scenario B, that maybe he didn't make it home. Something happened between Texas Roadhouse and getting home. So let me just make sure. Okay. All right. Use her earbud, and this. Okay, so I put this video out, I think yesterday or Monday. This happens just after the suspicious green hoodie person. Now I'm going to play this whole thing, but I do think hoodie person is 100% still back in play, especially after what we learned about At Night releasing some of the transcripts between them and Texas Roadhouse, and Texas Roadhouse had no idea who this person was. They weren't a patron. They weren't a regular. They literally just went to the bathroom. They didn't pay for anything and left, right? So here's just a little bit of that. And had met up between the cars. Was she handed a burner phone? Did Sebastian mother Katie eating at the Texas Roadhouse on the night before he would go missing? This is the last known clear image and footage of Sebastian Rogers that we know of. Just before they finish eating, another event is happening outside near Katie Proudfoot's car. A suspicious person in a green hoodie walks out from the bushes, walks to Katie's car, and loiters next to it. Now, since so many, including myself, have examined what appears to be some kind of exchange between Katie and the green hoodie lady, I won't spend much time on it. Except to note, suspiciously green hoodie arrives just mere minutes before Katie and Sebastian exit the restaurant. And it does appear to be some kind of exchange between the two. But what could the exchange have been? I think I found the best answer so far, and I'll show proof of what I believe it could be. So just after the suspicious exchange between the two, green hoodie walks toward... So keep in mind, green hoodie literally came from an area, and if you're not familiar, I'll pull it up. So Texas Roadhouse is down here. Man, I'm getting good with this. Here's the Texas Roadhouse. Now she walked from somewhere, let's see. Oh, no, I'm turned around. Okay, let me get us on the right side here, right? Yeah, here we go. Okay, so Texas Roadhouse, it's right here, right? It's just not, let's see, this is March 2022. So Texas Roadhouse would be right here. She comes through these bushes, right? Well, you've got all these establishments, and I'm pretty sure at least half of these got, we got the pizza pie place here that she walked by, T-Mobile, I'm sure half of these, you got Sleep Number, Starbucks. You got all these right here that she walked past that she could have easily used the restroom. Then the other thing is, think about if she needed to use the restroom like that bad, right? Why did she walk and then stand for 2 minutes between two cars, right? If this is something where, this is just a random person that, had to use the restroom really bad, why do they walk up towards Katie's car and then they stand there for 2 minutes, right? We know she didn't take a call because we can kind of see her. We can't see her 100%, but we can see her bobbing back and forth near the car. So again,
just after they put on their seatbelts, Katie makes a familiar
pretty
movement
suspicious.
with her hand to her ear. Take a look as it appears that Katie is placing an earpiece, like an earbud, in her right ear.
Now I know I introduced this about a couple months ago, but I always wanted to do a short video on it because I have like 2 different audiences, or you could kind of say 3. I've got people that just like to watch short form videos, and we have the people like you guys that like to be involved and be in the live shows, and then I think we kind of have the mix as well. Would be kind of the third group, but I always wanted to get that out just because. It's clear as day she's putting something in her ear. So anyway.
Here is a slowed down, zoomed in portion where it's clear she is putting something in her ear.
So
even the neighbor across the street with the...
Moving on, before we get into the subjects, we're almost there. Again, thanks to Silver's on the scene. He's been out there multiple times. And I believe both times, at least in the videos that he released, the porch light is on, and then the neighbor that has the camera that lives across the street that faces them, she said in the nights before, where she could see like on Saturday, Sebastian skipping to the mailbox, she said, porch light was on the night before, and then she even said to Sweetie Pilo, paraphrasing here, basically saying like, it's kind of odd the porch light wasn't on. Coincidence, or was that on purpose?
Camera had noticed this. Here's Katie claiming that Seth was not convinced, yet the FBI had cleared the video up and allegedly confirmed it was Sebastian.
And we went home straight from Texas Roadhouse. And we were home for approximately 15 minutes.
So you said New York Pie. Let's look that up. New York Pie. Oh, yeah, right here. Right there. Oh, and you're saying the back entrance right here? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Interesting. And so Texas Roadhouse would have been right. Right. Basically here. Again, this is 2022, and that Roadhouse is a newer, but it would be in this lot right here where this grass is at. So yeah, if she needed to use that bathroom that bad, she passed up a bunch of establishments, and then again stood there for 2 minutes. Pretty sus.
Before he took the trash out. And he is on
back
video,
and front
and the
entrance.
FBI was able to clear it up.
Thank you for sharing, Kim. I appreciate
Even
that.
though you can tell it's him from a mile away because of how he runs. It's just, you can tell from his mannerisms. The second you look at it, it's him running, but still.
Okay.
And so we here's Katie saying like, hey, the FBI cleared it up and confirmed it's him. Well, here's
Yet
the
in
FBI
statement they released this year where they go over.
Again, going over the timeline, and you would think, and again, it would be in the first two or three sentences, the first paragraph, whatever, which would have been right after they talk about the dinner and then getting home. You would think in between these two sentences, we confirmed that Sebastian made it home via the ring cam video showing him taking out the trash. That's not in there. I think that'd be pretty important to put in there, right? But that's not in there. I wonder why.
You would think this would be a very numerous interviews in the beginning. It wasn't until nearly a month later.
And then, again, we're almost there to the main meat and potatoes. Then, remember, she did at least two interviews with Duchess before she did the local news. And it wasn't until March 18th, so 3 weeks later, where they finally mentioned the noise, the thud, and then her speaking with Sebastian. Say, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you better knock it off. And he said, yes, ma'am. You would think, how would that have not been, that's like the last words you spoke to your son, and he spoke to you. And how could that not be the thing that's like burned into your brain, haunting you? Yet you failed to mention that until almost a month later, unless you're trying to create a narrative that he made it home. Because obviously, if there's a thud and you spoke to him, now there's another narrative along with the trash can. And then we'll get to the shoes, that he made it home. And it's just so interesting. The more and more you kind of look at this scenario B, how much they're trying to prove this proof of life that he's home.
Because she said that what I told you about hearing the noise, her saying go to bed, and he said, yes, ma'am. Apparently that's wrong. So correct it.
Then you factor in that in less than 48 hours, they somehow knew that a small yellow flashlight was missing.
Michelle, that's a great question. I mean, she uses the women's restroom, so, you know, I know it was originally labeled the Green Hoodie man, I think it was, I believe. But yeah, they used the ladies' restroom, so take that for what you will. So I think it's kind of changed to the Green Hoodie lady, but...
Here's a message from a Facebook group page where Melissa Proudfoot claimed he took a keychain flashlight, which was posted on day 2. Yet this keychain flashlight did not work, so why would Sebastian take that over his phone, shoes, or wallet? Unless this was to further prove the narrative that Sebastian made it home that night. So if Sebastian Rogers was taken before he got home, what would explain the lights and unknown car? It's simple, really. They would need to return his clothes and shoes that he was seen in at the Texas Roadhouse. So allegedly the lights and car would be the abductors and or the Proudfeet getting his clothing back. This also could explain why his shoes were still there at the home. They were more focused on proof of life than realizing that Sebastian running away without any shoes sounds impractical.
Interesting. Oh, that's... I like that, you know? Yeah, there is... where is it? T-Mobile's in this one or is this one? One of them, right? Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, right after the pie and stuff. Yeah. I mean, yep, you could get a prepaid phone and... Wait. Why is it blurred out right there? That's weird. It's kind of odd. Interesting. Good catch, Deborah. Yeah, maybe she had, you know, gotten a prepaid phone there. And the headset. Yeah, interesting. I like that. Jason says the other vehicle to the person who met her who came through then bushes might has their vehicle waiting on the other side of the bushes in a parking lot waiting. Yeah, when she does walk back, there is some traffic. We've kind of looked at that, and I definitely think there's some possibility for sure. Sparrow, keep in mind. Yes, they put out a statement in, I think it was December, because I think it was late November when Dog's team started putting out the Texas Roadhouse. And of course, Katie and that side had a fit. So much for transparency. And I wonder why, because if this green hoodie. But yeah, then literally 3 days later, after that comes out, is it Sumner County Sheriff's or TBI? I think it's Sumner County. Correct me if I'm wrong. Said, yeah, we found that person within 3 days, I think, or something like that. 3 or 4 days. And they cleared them. So here's the concern with that. You're telling me, if that is true, you guys didn't do your research and look at all the surveillance footage, and that green hoodie person never stuck out to you, because it's one of the last times you see Sebastian, for sure, and we have the suspicious green hoodie lady walking up, and you're telling me it took since February to now December, so nearly 10 months for you to figure out about this green hoodie person? Get out of here. Come on, in my opinion, that was all because I guarantee you they were getting sent in tips like crazy, and they had to, put out a statement to, kind of shut people up about, tipping them off about this green hoodie person. That's my theory on that. Again, I don't know what's worse, but I don't think that's, in my opinion, I don't think they were cleared. And I would love to know how they found the green hoodie lady. Like, how did they know? Anyway, all right, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Okay, so we kind of went over this new scenario about possibly him not making it home. Again, I'm still kind of in the middle. Like I said, I'd say 60-40, where I'm a little more towards now. I don't think he made it home. And now, looking at this light video, there's something else that stuck out to me. And just kind of, again, not getting tunnel vision and trying to look at it from all angles. I'm going to show you guys the same scenario, but add more to it, shall we say. All right, let's get into it. Chris, and the timestamp of the video of Texas Roadhouse leaving at 6:30. Nancy Grace interview. Foot home 9 p.m. Misled 2 hours. Oh, I'll have to go back to that. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if they had a 20-minute conversation, but I know it was like 3 to 4 days after that video was posted, and somehow they found her. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Okay. So, as a lot of my regulars have followed me, I've broken this 3 a.m. video down so many, as I mentioned earlier. I want to say like thousands of hours, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of staring at 4 minutes of footage. That is no lie, and I know a lot of you know that. So let's look at who could be. So if one of these subjects has got to be Katie, right? Like in our scenarios, right? If they were allegedly involved, one of them would have to be Katie, right? But who would be the other subject? And this kind of got me thinking last night, and then it hit me of a possible scenario, and I'm like, holy shit. I got goosebumps. Actually, I couldn't even sleep last night. I'm actually really tired. And if I wasn't working on my video earlier today, I would have gone live earlier. But I've got something to kind of, a different thought. Because, we kind of thought maybe it was Chris Proudfoot, with maybe some extended family members that were driving / friends, whatever, somebody close to the family, and maybe it's Crispy meeting out, and then Katie's coming to him, right? So all we know, right, is that at the beginning, all we have is it starts out with subject, and this is really important, right? Now, again, we don't have all the context, so we always have to keep that in mind. But notice subject 1, right, is already like out there, right? We know that this is the floodlights. All right, so let's just kind of get all on base here. Zoom out, back in, boom, boom, and boom. All right. So subject 1 is already somewhere around here, approximately. But subject 2 is going to be seen, and we know because it's going to start to fade because it's probably going in the ditch, and we got the gazebo. And yeah, so the light kind of flickers and stuff because it's passing behind these objects. But keep in mind, subject 1 is already out here. So there's 2 scenarios, right? The scenario A, if he made it home and he was kidnapped, the original scenario is that the 3 a.m. car pulled up, went up Kellen, turned around, and let Crispy out, if you want to say, or somebody, and that they were here, and then that Katie was starting to come to them, right? But what about another scenario? So here we have subject 1 already there, right? So let's play this real quick and look at a different scenario. So subject 1's already out there, and we're gonna have subject 2 start to appear. Sorry, it was a little bit slower than I thought it was, but I wanted to make a point because subject 1 disappears really quickly. But there's subject 2. Now remember these lights. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say is always, with these little floodlights, we can always just remember that those are coming from this home here, right? So we can always kind of get an idea of where, these guys are at relative to our anchor, you would call it, right? So subject 2 is now kind of going in the ditch, right? So it's disappeared for a minute. Now it's going to kind of come up, and we have the gazebo, which is then going to kind of cause it to kind of flicker. Subject 1, for the most part, is kind of still stationary. Now it does look like it's moving. Remember, somebody's recording it with the cell phone, so things are kind of bouncing around. Sorry, it is a little bit slower than I wanted it to be. I apologize. But yeah, subject 2 pops up. It flickered through here. And now subject 1 has kind of moved off screen here. Remember, there's this border here, so which there's more to this video than, this came from Nick Barrett. So, but anyway, and again, this is slowed down. But anyway, so this is what it kind of looked like as a top-down view. And I promise we'll kind of get to the point here in just a minute. See what you guys think. But I think at the very least, I think we could probably agree that subject 2 is more than likely Katie, since they're coming from the home. Because keep in mind, right, like the only person allegedly that's home, unless Katie somehow snuck somebody else, in her car when she got home, it would just be her. But then we have subject 1 here. So Chris kind of has all the answers. Yeah, right. Exactly. He brings the proof. So then here's the zoomed out, portion of subject 2 moving. Subject 1 has already moved. And remember, the motion light sensor is on, so that unidentified car has already been now sitting there. So I got to thinking last night, again, because this video starts out with subject 1 already right there, right? We don't ever see it move, go to the house, because you would think, in a way, you'd almost think if it was Crispy, one scenario, if he was coming, I'd almost think he would, kind of move to the house, and then you would see the two flashlights almost in tandem moving together, but that's not what we get. We have subject 1 that's, already up ahead, and subject 2 coming from the house, likely Katie. So I find that kind of interesting. And the other thing to mention before we get into the reveal is that, remember, after all of this goes down, remember, after the car shows up, we'll still see subject 1 standing there. And I'll show you that. But here's something to think about while just to argue this scenario B, and then I'll kind of chat for a minute, and then I'll do the reveal of who I think this could be. And I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts. So let's kind of think about it. If Sebastian did make it home and they're trying to move him, let's kind of look at the kind of negatives, the cons, and the issues that would bring up. Because remember, they would have to be transferring him in the middle of the night without his shoes, right? So, again, if it was Katie moving Sebastian, in one scenario, he wouldn't have his shoes, right? So you'd have to be going through this ditch. So many things could go wrong. Super dark, right? This plays into the no shoes as well. Would he be going willingly if he was awake and alert, not like knocked out or something, right? Or if he was like knocked out or something, then being carried, that also, could create some issues. And then all the variables of something going wrong with moving him, especially if he wasn't knocked out, and trying to, get him to, from point A to point B without any shoes, complete dark, going over a ditch, and again, how do you know he's not going to just freak out? Because he has no idea what's going on, and alert everybody and ruin the entire plan, right? And then carried, how do you know that, if you're going through a ditch, you're not going to trip and fall, and, just a lot of variables, basically, right, that could go wrong, just to kind of bring up the other side of things, right? Yeah, I agree, Kim. Right. Even with, say if they had headlight flashlights on. I mean, we don't know for sure. I don't think it's an Apple Watch light. I think that's a great out of the box thinking, but those lights are pretty bright. I think they're definitely, some kind of decent. I don't even think it's a cell phone light. I'm pretty sure it's either a headlamp or, a decent sized flashlight. So, again, he would have to be carried. And we don't see, if it was subject 1 and if it was Crispy, we never see him run to the home first and then they're in tandem, because you would think they would be in tandem, especially if they were carrying him and or escorting him, right? But that's not the case. So that's just kind of some of the arguments that could play into scenario B, that he wasn't being moved be either carried or escorted, right? Because there's just a lot of variables. And again, he could panic and freak out and, ruin the whole thing. Could it be night vision? Oh, like what they have? I mean, even then, not to say they couldn't have it. But then if you had night vision, I don't know why you'd have... If you had night vision, then you wouldn't be wanting to be using your flashlight because, that defeats the purpose. So anyway, so now let's get into who I think this is. So going back, the video starts out with subject 1 already up ahead. I know I mentioned this before, but I'm trying to kind of ingrain this. And this is where last night I'm like, oh my God, I think I have a decent theory that could hold some weight. I know a lot of people, it looks like 60% think it's crispy. And again, I still could see that. Definitely don't want to get tunnel vision. But let me show you who I think could be our culprit. So if you guys remember, I spent a lot of time showing that subject 1 and subject 2 actually divert, which is another huge thing. It's very hard to see. It took a lot of work to redo them. But this is very important. I show you where subject 1 veers off and actually kind of cuts up. As you can see here. Notice these last few pings. Subject 1 goes up, whereas subject 2, their trajectory, although it's similar, they actually continue at more of an angle. And this is very important. And then here's me putting them together, even though this isn't at the same time. This is them put together at the, both their movements separately, just shown together, just showing you how how they divert. And remember, even though they're just barely above each other, remember, because they're at least 200 feet away, something like that. That just because there's a little bit of space, that means there's still some distance apart. And again, subject 1 tends to go over and up a little bit, while subject 2 kind of continues at a more angled projection. All right.
Short time later.
Let's get into the theory. Okay, here we go. So I wonder if our mysterious subject number 1 is actually, and actually there's one thing that I forgot that I left out. That's okay. I wonder if our mysterious subject number 1 is actually Mr. Carr. And for those that don't know who Mr. Carr is, we'll go into him a little bit. But I guarantee you, he is, Katie and them know each other. There's even Facebook pages. I've got screenshots. I didn't have time to post it, but there was rumors in the neighborhood that, because remember, Crispy and Katie, because of the whole CPS thing, and there's alleged rumors that they're kind of swingers, allegedly, and that, she was having an alleged relationship with the neighbor who is the Henderson PD guy. So then you kind of think about it, how subject 1 is already kind of up ahead of her it would kind of make sense if it is Carr who is actually the one. Because he's just coming from his home, right? So he would just either kind of come out the front door, he would have that blind spot, and then he would just come up, and all of a sudden he's there, right? So he's right where subject one's dot is at. And now he is going to help Katie navigate across while the vehicle arrives. And the other thing that kind of helps support this is, remember at the end of our leaked clips, the portion where somebody's running back, just before that video ends, we have, and I'm trying to get to it, and this is exactly approximately where subject one had stopped from the first video. Even though right here I'm going to put subject 2, but I believe now it could be subject 1. Either way, does it not play right here? Oh, maybe it's after. Hold on. Okay, yeah.
In the lower lights.
Okay, right here, and I know it's small, but this is the part where the car is now gone. So this also adds to it, because now the car is gone, right? It's already turned on its lights, it's already backed up, and then this is where we see the subject running across. And just after, as the subject's running back, right? So this has got to be Katie, right? Running back. Just before this clip ends, and this is not a glitch, there is one tiny speck of light in that same spot where I call the scout. There's the person coming back. So now they're back, almost there, and then we get this boom right there just before the video ends. And here's it zoomed in. I know I've played this before. So there's that person getting back, jumping the ditch, and then just before the video ends, we get one last brief thing of light. And I find that interesting because you would almost think if she's going back, then how is that person not already back, going to the car if they had came from the car, right? No, yes, it still could be crispy, but I think it would make sense that is the neighbor, allegedly, car. Oh, did I? Yeah, here we go. So you would have subject 2 running back to her home. I apologize. I didn't have a lot of time because did 2 projects today. But if you think about it, that person's somewhere around between these 2 homes, and he's just making sure that she makes it across. And then obviously he's going to go back to his house and the lighting would disappear because obviously he's running away from the camera. You wouldn't have the light source anymore. And again, there was rumors that they had some kind of relationship. This is the guy. This is the part-time Henderson PD guy who attended the attended the vigil and was freaking out saying, "Oh my God, this is so bad. This is so bad." That's the same guy. this is also the same guy that suspiciously, in my opinion, was riding around with them early that morning when they were looking for footage. Let me know what you guys think in chat. I know a lot of people, think it's crispy, and I don't blame you. And again, don't want to get tunnel vision on either one, but it just kind of hit me the way how this video starts with subject 1 already up ahead. And I would think if it was crispy, we should have seen the video. We should have seen like a light going to the home first and then 2 lights in tandem coming back out. But we don't see that. They act more kind of independently. Again, like as if one's just really a scout. Katie's coming to get the clothing, Sebastian's clothing. And then we'll talk about his shoes, because I think that's another thing. Some people are saying, I think you're on point. Again, it's just a scenario, but man, I lost a lot of sleep last night thinking about it. I'm like, holy shit, because this guy has been super sus. There's still some things I can't say, but I can tell you his behavior, his Google Street. I know I had a live after, doing Sebastian, and I'd go up and down the street. He's blocked his home, blurred out his home. And I know that happened after Sebastian went missing. Very interesting. Again, the guy that's at the vigil that was saying, oh my God, this is so bad, freaking out.
There's a lot of space. As much.
Then we have the suspicious thing here. One second. Let me get to it. Then remember this clip that Fish Sticks got, which again, being a Henderson PD officer, even if it's part-time, I can't imagine him handing out this kind of footage unless he was trying to help set that narrative, right? Because remember, this comes from that Henderson PD guy. And again, we've broken down these 3 images that got leaked, and the version that was unedited, and we learned that Katie's light is on. We got a couple lights on, but her bedroom light is on, along with the sunroom light being on. And yeah, just kind of interesting that they were able to get that footage from him, as if maybe they were, in on it, and they wanted to kind of produce a narrative, if that kind of makes sense. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Again, just a theory, but I don't know. The more we look into this angle of him not making it home, I kind of like it. And then the shoes. So if you think about it, let's just say this scenario is true. So Katie's been up all night, right? Allegedly, in this scenario. So she has to get the clothing back, right? That he was seen in at Texas Roadhouse. She would get the shoes, pants, shirt, whatever. Definitely the shoes. Gets back to the home. It's 3:30 a.m., or somewhere in there. So she's going to set those shoes down, right? Near the front door. And, because of all this planning, forgets that, here, this, thinking about this is bringing these items back to show proof of life, because here's his shoes. but been up all day planning and probably didn't even go to bed if they were involved in this. And then it probably didn't hit them until, after Seth gets there and goes, boy, that's weird. Shoes are sitting right in front of the door. Yet he walked out the front door and his shoes are right there and he didn't put them on. Right? And then, yeah. So yeah, kind of interesting. Let me read chat here. Let me play this audio while I read chat real quick. But again, yeah, this is the guy that just so happened to be real helpful that morning going around. It's almost like because remember, they're going to collect footage and all this. And it's kind of interesting that he's the one in there with one of these officers, going door to door, clearly could probably hear the audio where they're talking about what houses have what.
Right here, and we'll take the right side. The white Ford truck, that's the Hendersonville officer's house that's with me.
So right there, that's the Hendersonville's officer house. He's with me. So he is there with Sumner County Sheriff's Office driving around. Yeah, again, if he's in on it, now he's learning, all the homes that are going to have footage or not footage. Yeah.
No, that house hasn't been checked. The next house up from is see the white Ford in the driveway.
We log a neighborhood Facebook page. Post was made 1023. Check. No motion on camera.
Now heard we've had an additional caller call in that was in the net stating she saw someone that made with the description on Hogan's branch, male with sandy blonde hair, with a bag wrapped around his neck.
Oh, I got you, sir.
He had on a reflective jacket approximately 2 hours ago.
30 command. 139 World End has a camera, but nobody's answering the door.
Interestingly,
he had some ties at White House High School, and every time he got in trouble, he wanted to go back to White House, so I notified White House PD, or notified this SRO.
10-4. 10-4, that was the cameras, correct?
Yes, 10-4. Nobody's answering, nobody's home. In reference to that address, please run a registration check on Tennessee tag.
Yeah. Right, that's what I voted, yeah.
Series 2012 BMW, 750 black in color, registered.
Yep.
At that address. Confirmed NSR.
Greg, when you can't see it, you can find any information. Let's see if we can look up on a phone number or something.
Yeah.
We would appreciate it.
Command units that are at Stafford Court. When you check a residence, please give me the numeric and unit numbers that have checked it and whether or not you made contact with
thank you, Green.
Made contact with.
Again, it's just a theory, but it does kind of make sense because I was thinking about it. I'm like, God, it's so weird that they're not like, these lights aren't moving in tandem, And again, there's always possibilities that, we're still, there's so much context that we don't know about this video, right? There could be a lot more before, certainly, or after. But yeah, it's just, man, it hit me last night, being on this new scenario, kind of him not making it home, and then just how much, especially going over that interview with Heather, just how much, they're trying to push this, like, he made it home. Proof of life. And then it's like, okay, if Crispy wasn't the one that went there, who would be the other person? And it makes a lot of sense it would be Carr, because even like I said, the reason why it's so interesting when you track the trajectory, how Subject 1 always tends to stay at least from, this video, and it's hard, but subject 1 always tends to stay in this area, whereas it appears subject 2 is cutting across. And again, even after subject 2 runs back, we see one little flicker. And that's the other thing is I'm like, you would think if she's darting back, whoever, Crispy or whoever, you would think would already be halfway or into the car by now. And so to me, it's like that is allegedly Carr kind of making sure she gets back. And then all he's got to do is just walk back up and then back to his home, and they're only out there for less than 10 minutes, I believe he has a wife. I think, I don't want to get too much into the wife but anyway, I think she was sick at one point. But yeah, I mean, everything would happen in a few minutes. And then, not only did we get, somehow, Fish Sticks got that footage, where he just shared the screenshots, which again, I figured out that these are motion activated clips. So I'd like to know what caused this one at 3:06. And then I don't know if you guys remember at that same time, they had released photos from the backyard, from this backyard. I do have them somewhere in my folder, which means that they were allowed to, not only allowed to get some of the footage, but, to take pictures almost, again, like they're trying to cover their rear ends. And, yeah, I don't know, super sus. I think you're onto something. It's certainly a good angle to look at. Seriously, I think it's neighbor Mr. Carr. I think so too, because again, you go back to, there's a lot of variables, and again, not saying it's not possible, but there's a lot of variables that could go wrong if you're trying to move Sebastian either conscious or unconscious. And I don't know which one would be worse, because if he is awake and you're just trying to say, hey, you're going over to your Uncle Jack's or whatever, who knows what, maybe he gets excited, or maybe he gets the complete opposite, freaks out, starts, running around, and then that blows their whole entire plan that they, if this has been something that they've been working on. So I don't know. Would they risk all those variables? That's a lot. And again, if he was being carried, that's why I have another issue of it not being crispy, is you would think if he's being carried, we'd likely see a light running. You would probably see more two lights together moving. Not to say, I'm sure Katie could carry him. It's not dead weight. I'd hope not. But again, you got to go through the ditch and all that. So yeah, a lot of variables. So yeah, kind of interesting. Yeah, it is well known. Like, that is one thing. It's like people are just like, yeah, what's going on with this guy? Like, why is he so anxious? And but yeah, that was Carr. And the other thing is when somebody wanted to get, because they were kind of feeling unsafe because they noticed there was a lot of vehicles. They wanted to get some kind of secure. I don't know what's the right word. They wanted to get like somebody who would check on the neighborhood, so often, maybe once or twice a day, right? Just to kind of drive up down the street, maybe once at night. And a certain person spoke to Carr, and Carr freaked out about that. which is so weird because, again, this is supposed to be a Henderson. This is supposed to be a police officer who is supposed to be, supposed to protect the public, right? And he's flipping out because a neighbor feels unsafe and that they're just kind of, passing along, hey, just having somebody kind of keep an eye on the neighborhood, maybe once or twice a day. Just, all they're doing is just doing kind of a drive-by. And he flipped out. That makes no sense. It's possible S has been moved a few times. CP also refers to RS, so maybe S isn't around here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, we may have to go over that. Enhanced flashlight video to you. I'll check it out. Again, I'm a little worrisome of enhanced videos because as you guys know, I've spent hundreds of hours trying to do my best. Remember, it's not the original recording, so you can only enhance. You can't even really enhance it. To be honest, like not in the ways you would think, because again, it's not the original footage. Jennifer, good to see you, sweetheart. Member for 41 months. Holy cow. That is insane. Thank you so much. And of course, to my wonderful mods, D, as well. Good to see you, sweetheart. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say like something as fact. I think they originally, I think it's even in this, they said like, hey, we don't have, okay, I want to see this email real quick. So let me see here. Hold on, guys, just a second. Let me just play this.
Weekend night going into school. No, it is not. It's considered a weekend. Don't take it away.
He had to go to bed to get up for school the next day.
Okay, that's still not school night.
Semantics.
Semantics is a large play in this deal.
It means a night that you have to go to bed to get up for school.
And doing something, you can say that if she puts some shit out.
Oh, that's right. There's a part in here where they're going to talk about the thud and they go quiet for a minute, almost like they want to collaborate. Let me play this before I get to the email. Oh, God, because I don't want to forget that. Check this out. And I should check out the original because it's probably longer. Where is that?
Yeah, we're still here. No, but
yes, right here. And I cut this short, and now I wish I'd played the original because I didn't even think about them kind of going on mute. And then there's even a part where you can hear like they're either like muffling, because all of a sudden they go super quiet. You can tell like they're chatting, but it's like either they try to like muffle the speaker. Yeah, listen to this, and this is where they talk about the thud, and it's kind of interesting. And I think like she's trying to get the timeline of the thud or something.
Oh, so we talk.
Yeah, okay. So there's about 9 o'clock you told him to go to bed. You were on the phone from about 9 to 12. It was about 11 p.m. when you heard the noise from his bedroom.
No.
No?
Right here.
That's not right?
And I've cut this short. It's the gaps are longer, and there's something else.
Hello?
Yeah, we're still here. No, what you said was not right.
And again, I cut that short, so there's even on both sides when she says hello, before and after, like there's a bigger gap, and then there's one more part.
Well, can you correct me?
Somewhere between 9 and 12. There was a sound heard, and Mom told him, Sebastian, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to bed. He said, yes, ma'am.
All right. And then nothing until you went to wake him up, right?
Right here. And I cut this short, but you hear this. I might be able to try to enhance it. I tried to enhance it. I don't know. I might go back and listen to this.
Well, you went to wake him up, right?
You can hear like they covered up something really interesting. Okay. Oh. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I appreciate that, Marie. Looking at that, I just don't know, I don't want to have pareidolia, where you're kind of brains trying to make familiar shapes out of sorry, I'm multitasking here. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say, especially with that one coming from Nick Barris, like, I don't know. I know Nick Barris got the one that we have, because clearly the audio, clearly seeing the original, we can tell that the one that Nick Barris got is still something that was recorded from the cell phone. So I'm a little worrisome about, it being brightened up, and, you can't really use AI to enhance, because all AI does is just try to smooth things out. And almost kind of, I mean, sometimes it can be good, and a lot of times it can be bad, especially when it comes to darker security footage. But I appreciate you sending that in. I just don't know what else. Okay, R-Fry. Jay had another live discussion here live from the other day. Clearly she needed to make another video, but she did it on her other channel to hide it, laugh out loud. These people are truly strange, but yeah, that's right. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, Crispy started sending Jay for Justice videos of him with Sebastian and stuff. Keep in mind, for those, because I know there's some of those that are watching from, that are not Team Sebastian. Like, keep in mind, if Sebastian were to walk home today, unscathed or whatever, or alive, whatever, he walks in, you know what happens? Stinky Feet, Crispy, will have to leave. Just for those reminder of those on the other side. Don't forget, there's five open CPS reports going on, or cases, where he is not allowed to be around Sebastian. So yeah, if Sebastian will walk home today or whenever, Crispy has to leave, because they can't be under the same roof. So do you think that they're really anticipating Sebastian to come back home? For those on the other side that may be watching, you think they're really, I'm sure Crispy's getting comfy with his, with his bed and, his wife. But, Sebastian, when he gets back, if he were to get back, well, there goes that relationship, because now Crispy's now going to have to, he can't be around unless for those 4 to 6 days a month when Sebastian goes back to Seth, until Seth gets full custody. So, again, I doubt they're looking. Sent photos of subject to the faces. I'll have to look at them better. Like, it's kind of like, I see what you sent me, Marie. But I'll have to like look at them when I'm not live, so I can kind of like use my other programs. I will take a look at them. I'll be honest with you, Maria, and I do appreciate it. I know you're trying to help. I've been sent so many enhanced photos. Oh my gosh. And a lot of them look pretty much the same. There's kind of brightness. And I just don't see any, like, from the ones that I've seen before, I just don't see anything, that I could, the thing on that I wanted to make sure, again, we speculate on this channel, but I'd never want to do, I don't know if you guys remember, Fish Sticks accused me of promoting that, that one photo that went out, that people are claiming that it showed Crispy and Katie putting Sebastian in the trunk. That was sent to me like a month before anybody else had put it out there. And I never put it out there because I'm like, I know this didn't come from the 3am video, because I don't know where in the hell they got this. Like, there's no way. And I knew it was likely fake. And somebody was just trying to get attention. And it might have even been from the other side, just to troll and see if people would buy into it. I don't know. But yeah, because I don't want to put something out and say like, oh yeah, like, hey, look, I can definitely see this person. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to be responsible. Again, we speculate, but still, I try to, again, yeah, be responsible, I guess is the best word. Alyssa. Yeah, zooming in causes distortion, pixelation. Yeah, making everything blobs in your mind. Yeah, and then you get kind of pareidolia, because then you start. Yeah, and again, I know a lot of people are really just trying to. Oh. Yeah, I didn't read much RLF. Yeah. I'll read that on my own time. I was just reading the first little part. Anyway, yeah, working so many things. Nurse Gummy Bear says, I believe Chris didn't go out of town that weekend and was staying at his parents' other's property. Yeah, I agree with that. I just can't shake that feeling I have. I do think he was close before and or after, maybe even during. But yeah. The shadow video? No, it wasn't a video. No, not that one, Jason. It was just a photo. If I had time, I'd pull it up, but I got so much stuff. Yeah, it wasn't a video. It was just an image. And I knew right away. I'm like, nah, this isn't. Yeah, no. Yeah, it wasn't a video, Jason. This is a different one. Almost looked like a foot. Fish Sticks made a joke about it being a Dr. Scholl's commercial or something. But yeah, no, it was the. It came out, I think, earlier this year. But yeah. Anyway. Make sure I got everything. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I know, it is crazy, Louise. I agree. I have no idea. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, I had it before he even put that out. I mean, yeah, he did put that out, and sadly, I think he wanted to believe in it. I don't blame him for sure, right? But, yeah. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. Just kind of looking at it from a different light. And like I said, the Chris, Mr. Carr, he's never sat right with me. And the fact that, the Proudfoots team were able to get that footage, seems really odd. And the fact that, especially that since he's like a Henderson PD, you would think that he would, even if it's a PI, he wouldn't be, that would have been all sent to the proper authorities, different agencies, and he wouldn't be releasing that out to, the Proudfoots or the PI. So that's why I think that's highly suspicious. Okay, I'll take a look one more time. Sorry, I itched my nose. Is that RC Cola? Oh, yeah, I heard that, yeah, Jays for Justice, I could care less. I have no idea what they have said about me. I really don't care. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Anyway, do you see the mullet man? Yeah. Yeah, I don't see the mullet man. I don't know how because that'd be very far away. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything, but yeah. Oh, thank you, Louise. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't care what Jay for Justice has to say. Again, keep poking the bear, and again, like I said, I showed you guys some images last live. Where is it? Real quick. Let me just remind them real quick one more time. Oh, yeah. Let me just remind them that I cannot wait to see what happened in the live that went on maybe today. I don't know if you guys think, because remember, this whole Nerdy Addict was all kind of buddy with Chris Proudfoot, and then looks like things went real sour. And I don't know why Crispy had certain things that he wanted to keep off the record that he didn't want to be disclosed. Again, he brings the proof and has nothing to hide. Remember, he says that multiple times. He's got nothing to hide, right? Boy, I'd like to know what that is. So clearly that went sour, but let's see, where is it? I put it in this one. And I want to thank everybody for the GoFundMe. Again, if you haven't been here, and by chance, if you are one of those that were able to support me again, still having stomach issues. I've been doing a lot better, although I've had a kind of a rough start at this month, but been doing better. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. This is that thing that got released. This was sent to me, like I said, like I feel like a month before it was ever even published, and I was like, this isn't anything. Dang it, where the hell? Anyway, oh well. I don't know what folder I put that in. But anyway, it's the video where I showed you guys that I had two sources that were at the home of the guy that had the 3 AM footage, saying exactly what he saw. And I showed you guys that person being in the driveway, and this was long before fish sticks, or not long before, but before fish sticks ever came along, and yeah. And I've got more of that. So, yeah, like I said, and I don't want to get into politics and drama of other channels. I really don't harbor any ill will towards any of these other creators, except for Fish Sticks, because, one, you literally on an anniversary said that you have a lead that you might have found Sebastian, or you might have a sighting of Sebastian. That is one of the most disturbing, effed up things I've ever experienced in true crime. Then on top of that, you're trying to get a neighbor's child endangered, trying to claim that they're hiding, and and then you release a video claiming what you're saying is this kid, laying in wait when he's literally just grabbing his cat and bringing it in for the night. Absolutely stupid. And this guy has no humility. I just don't get how people, again, I was raised differently, right? I don't know. I have no issue admitting when I'm wrong. But apparently there's people out there that just, that they can't. Oh, thank you, Louise. God bless you. I do think they are. And I do think a certain person is a sociopath. Siggy, I need Nightbot. I do. I need. I'm sorry if Nightbot gives you trouble. But I need Nightbot. I have to. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I can have my specialist maybe look into it. Maybe, I don't know if there's something that it has to do with some kind of, when you're using what appears to be like a link, because you put the @ so I think it's trying to think that you're putting maybe an email out and you're trying to promote that. That is my guess. I could be wrong though, but that would probably be my best guess, because you have the @ and then you have a period after it. I think that's exactly what it is. I think that's my best guess. But yeah, I need Nightbot. It makes it so much easier for my mods. So I do apologize. But I think that's what it is. You had an @ a name, and then a dot, a period. So it looks like you're trying to do an @ email dot. And I think that's what it's probably thinking. You're putting an email. All right, guys. I'm not going to waste any more time. I am curious if Nerdy Addict went live. I am curious if he disclosed any of that stuff that, Stinky Feet didn't want disclosed, right? So we'll see what happens. Thank you so much, Michelle, for the $20 super chat, Venmo. I appreciate the support. Kind Lee says, you can be part of the solution or part of the problem. Some people just choose the latter. Keep up the great work. I appreciate that. I really do. I really do. And I appreciate everybody. I know, you guys are trying to help. Oh, Little Red. Oh, I got you, Little Red. Again, I'll try to take another look at the stuff you guys sent me. I just keep in mind, I've been sent so much stuff that I get like kind of numb to it, because like I don't want to say I've seen everything, but I feel like I've seen like everybody enhance every different angle, corner, and it just, to me, I don't see anything. Like, I don't want to go and go live and go like, hey, look, it's crispy, look, you can see, his truck or whatever. I don't want to do that unless I know 100%, or not 100%, but I'm like damn near 100% that I know that's what it is. So just keep that in mind. I want to be true to you guys and not just go for clicks or, that's not what I'm about. Thank you so much for everything. No, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And huge shout out to my mods, Dee and Jennifer. I think we're trying to pick up some extra mods because one of our mods, I'm not even sure what happened to her. Maybe to email her. Thank you, Sandra, so much. Excellent work. 35 months. Thank you so much for the membership. And for the mods, the members and Patreons, I will have hopefully the video out tomorrow. It's some more stuff. It's extended stuff that I have with the phone call and everything. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed this scenario. We are going to cover other cases as well. But depending on what happened today, if Nerdy went live again, I don't know if anybody knows in chat before we go, if he did go back live. I guess I could just look it up, right? Guess I don't want to play his live and then have him like try to strike me. Well, he technically can't, but I just don't need that right now. But let's just see if he did attempt to go live again. I'm kind of curious. Streamed for. Oh, okay, so he did. He had a stream and it ended 14 minutes ago. Boy, I would love to know what's in here. Oh, dang it. Should we just take a sneak peek before we go? I'm sorry. I'm dying to know, like, you know what? Hold on. I might just play the audio. Let's see here.
In the home after Sebastian went missing, which was interesting to me. One of those cameras was placed in Chris Proudfoot's daughter's room. I believe she's 8 years old. Police confiscated those cameras with the search warrant that was executed.
Whoa, what? Whoa, what? Wait a minute. Wait, what?
Related to, have you ever lied to authorities or police?
Okay, I'm playing the audio of this. Are you guys still with me? I'm sorry, but is this the stuff that Crispy didn't want out? Oh my God.
Sebastian's behavioral health and an incident with police. And we're not going to really talk about Sebastian's behavioral health. We know that he's autistic. We know that there are behavioral issues with the fire station, which was the command post for the search and rescue, which was right down the street. And you'll see it. And I think I showed it on the ground there. Related to, have you ever lied to authorities or police in the past? And he sort of got caught up with that and explained to them that perhaps he did. Maybe it was when he was younger, but there was an anomaly there, I believe, in which he had to explain to law enforcement why that question was problematic. Fast forward, and this is the most significant piece of information. And I'm going to disclose it, and I'm going to put it out on Twitter now. Roughly 1 year after Sebastian Rogers went missing, law enforcement descended on his residence and executed a search warrant. They seized multiple electronic devices, and this is the interesting part to me. So they confiscated laptops and more. And it's interesting because, again, this is hearsay. This is someone telling me that they had already given over these devices willingly, okay? So this is the information where I've been saying on X where it's problematic because you can look at it either way. Those who work true crime have to think about a judge signing off on a search warrant, right? There needs to be probable cause.
Yes.
And I asked to see that search warrant or what the probable cause was. And the response was that It's sealed.
Ooh, you need to fix your mic, buddy.
Police confiscated 3 cameras in
Whoa! Oh my God! You gotta fix your mic.
addition to all the other electronic devices. Okay, and those 3 cameras were added after Sebastian.
Wait, wait, this wasn't doing it before, was it? What the fuck? Sorry, guys, this is earth-shattering. Is it, it's not me, is it? Is it fuzzy for you guys, the audio? My jaw's dropped right now. Wait, let me go back real quick. Make sure it's not me.
Finally working.
Okay, so it says audio.
Polygraph, he said that during the investigation, they were going down to the fire station, which was the command post.
Sorry, I backed up.
For the search and rescue.
Okay, right here.
So confiscating the cameras, they obviously took,
oh, here we go.
Including 3 cameras that had been installed after.
Okay, sorry guys. Oh my God, what the holy shit. No wonder Crispy did not want this out.
And I was trying to figure out how to get on here.
Okay, I'm tweeting it now. I tweeted it now too. So I will read you the tweet. Hopefully, if it gets choppy again, let me know. This is a new setup. But roughly 1 year after Sebastian Rogers went missing, law enforcement descended on his residence and executed a search warrant. This is 1 year after he went missing, seizing multiple electronic devices, including 3 cameras that had been installed after his disappearance.
Remember the upgrade.
That was the information that he was guarding and did not want disclosed. 1 of 3. But I want to take a moment for everyone to process that, think about it, and let you comment on it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
You know what's funny is Jay for Justice. I know this much because remember he was going out there and he was all kind of buddy with Proudfoot. Remember, and he's the one that released the burner phone information, which then Jay for Justice did a video on, which then I responded to, right? And then where he got this all mad circle, and then clearly there was something that happened. I don't know if he explains it in this live. I'm not going to play the entire live. I'm just playing little tidbits. We're going to break this down tomorrow because holy shit. He says there's at least 2 more big things.
The fact that they took footage after the fact of him going missing makes me wonder what they wanted to know.
Oh, but what I meant to say, finish with is, it's so funny because Jay for Justice sent like all of her viewers over to this live. So now thinking that, that they're all like, it's all going to be hunky dory, let's bash Seth, but oh man, this is funny.
That was going on in that house afterwards.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, the cameras imply that, right? Because those cameras pick up everything. So confiscating the cameras, they obviously took more than that, right? But he seemed to mention those cameras at least 2 or 3 times while we were in the truck, and it seems important, right? When someone is telling you that they trust their partner. And maybe it could be for other reasons. I don't know. I've never put cameras in my children's room growing up.
Oh, that's kind of icky. Oh God, I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about them replacing the cameras. Oh yeah, that's icky. What did I tell you guys? This is why this is so. They need to. They got to do something, because if Faith is now back in their lives, right? And I mentioned this in past lives, how history tends to repeat itself and we never learn. I mean, some do, but some people don't. Clearly law enforcement hasn't, at least in this jurisdiction. That what if they're having arguments, because clearly you can tell just by the the interview with Heather and Chloe that these guys, Crispy, has got to be right. You know what a piece of shit he is. Sorry, I'm just no filter now. What happens when they get in a fight and they start talking and they have Faith over? And what if they start accidentally kind of mentioning things about if they were involved, and they mentioned something about the crime that they committed, alleged crime or murder or abduction, whatever, and she overhears some of that. And then they find out. Well, if they're capable of possibly taking a life and covering it up, what's to say they won't do it again? Holy shit.
Baby monitors ended when they were babies, right?
Yeah,
so I don't
same.
know.
And-
It's sort of, it's up to the parent, I guess.
Right. You did say they collected ones they installed after he went missing, correct?
After. These 3 cameras were added after Sebastian went missing. And then when police hit the house with a search warrant, and again, let's think about the search warrant, right? A judge needs to sign off with probable cause. That probable cause document is sealed, as I know it. I reached out to him, said, can you pull the probable cause document? And they said it's sealed. Their attorney tried grabbing it. So I don't know what it means.
Do you remember when they remember that there was talk about papers going out, like that they were going to get served or something like that, that there was, and that they tried to play it off as something else, some kind of court thing? That's what it was. Oh my gosh. Yes. And remember, it was so weird because even Crispy wanted to come on my channel, which was so weird, like, to, you know, of course, I'm sure fucking lie out his teeth about it. Holy shit, that makes so much sense. Do you guys remember? Like, Crispy even wanted to come on my channel because we were getting the news like, holy shit, there's something like going down. Holy shit. All right, I'm going to play a little bit more. Obviously, this is an hour. I don't want to play entire an hour. And I'm sorry, I'm not playing the video. All he's shown is some drone footage. And, of course, dealing with the 2 strikes with fish sticks, I'm trying to be careful. But, yeah, I am doing multitasking. Let's play a little bit more.
I don't know what it means, but I felt like it was important, and obviously they do too if they didn't disclose it. I reached out to TBI. TBI pointed me to Sumner. I reached out to Sumner County. Last night they have not responded, but I know it's true because the neighbor that I spoke to originally, before I met Chris Proudfoot, she didn't know it was a search warrant, but she said, yeah, roughly maybe it was a year after Sebastian went missing. I saw a whole lot of cops parked out front. I don't know what they were doing, but that led me to obviously the information about the warrant. So I'll let you take the mic.
That. Sorry. I do remember that. But I never did hear what they obtained. And definitely not that they obtained footage from after. That's going to take me a little bit to process.
Yeah. Well, I'll go on. We'll talk about the dogs. I presume, first of all, people joining, I like to do my own independent thing on the ground. So if the information was already out there, fine. If not,
really, sorry.
The dog thing is interesting. I'm going to stop on the aerial footage so we can see it from the air.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there because, I want to end this live. I don't know why it's not letting me download this video. I hope to God it doesn't go private. I would not be surprised if freaking what's his face is like flipping out right now. And there's 2 more big things, it sounds like. Holy shit. If you guys want to check it out, I'm going to have to, I might have to record this, right? I can't download it right now. Here, let me know. Let me put this in the chat. Let me know if anybody else can watch it right now. Before I end this, I'm curious. I'm afraid to refresh this. I'm going to leave this up because I can still record it if he tried to private it. Oh my God. Oh, we're good. Yeah, I'll have to record it. Does anybody know? Can they watch it? Okay, you can watch it. Okay, that's good. That's good. So it's not private yet. I don't know why it won't let me download it. That's weird. Yeah, I may just leave the recorder on. Yeah, go check that out. Holy shit. We're going to cover this tomorrow and break this down because, like I said, there's more tweets. I only showed you just the one. There's clearly a falling out. So, yeah. Woof, man. Just that first one. I wonder what the other two. I don't know if that's the big one, but. I mean, well, that's technically two. A camera in your daughter's bedroom. Disgusting. And you've got a search warrant. I wonder why. Huh. I wonder around. I don't know. I don't want to get confident. I know I sent a lot of stuff last year, or around that time before. But again, it could have been a multitude of things. Oh man. Karma's coming, man. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. If that is true, maybe they are finally doing some shit. And we just don't know it yet. Anyway, alright guys. Ooh. I was so super tired. Now I'm like excited. Oh my goodness. Alright guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday night. I will hopefully be back tomorrow night. We'll probably cover this because if there's more to this, then holy shit. We'll go over the main shit. But thank you to my mods as always, D, Jennifer. I don't know if anybody else came in. Of course, shout out to my patrons and members. Got to give them shout outs. And then, of course, to everybody being in here, being respectful. I appreciate everybody keeping an open mind. And again, be nice to each other. You know, I'm not like the other channels where, you know, want to send hate to these other people. We want to be above them, right? But thank you guys so much for the love. And yeah, I'll post it one more time if you guys want. Yep, there's the link right there. Sure. Well, I've got it up, so I know I can just record it. I'll just do that. Yeah, yeah, Skinny, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying in my live before we found out the falling out. I'm like, yeah, I followed Nerdy, like, with a bunch of other cases. I've been a fan of him. And then when he started, you know, making these tweets about, you know, some of the stuff that I know is, you know, either they've twisted the truth, or it's just outright lies that Crispy's feeding him, and then he's just sadly regurgitating them, you know, not realizing what a scumbag Crispy is. But it sounds like he's wizened up. Well, I don't want to say wizened up, but it seems like Nerdy Addict, you know, found out what a piece of shit they are. Yeah, having a camera in your daughter's bedroom. Yeah, that's going to go over well. It's going to go over real well. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. All right, guys. Much love to you guys. We'll cover this tomorrow and more. Much love.